Agidi Jollof is an Eastern delicacy mostly consumed by the Igbos. It has a texture of agidi, eko, and the flavor of jollof rice, and the hidden gem of brisket bone in the middle. This is so good. Let me show you how to make this. We are going to be using yellow grain for this. You can use white grain. All you have to do first of all is to make sure you pick it and rinse it thoroughly. This comes with a lot of dirt. You want to rinse this for as much as possible until the water is clear, there's no weevils or no dirt at all. I went in and I rinsed mine close to 5 times, but on camera I didn't get to video all that. Just make sure you rinse this thoroughly. Then when you're done rinsing, you want to transfer this to another bowl with lid. You want to add water and you want to let this ferment for 3 days, changing the water daily so that your pap will not smell really bad. When you're done, please just keep it aside and let it ferment in one place in your house. This was the 3rd day and this is what I got. I'll be dishing out this water, then I'm going to rinse this again thoroughly so that it can be very, very clean. When you're done rinsing this, you want to transfer this to your blender. Add enough water and blend. Please note, you need a very strong blender for this. If your blender cannot do the job, please go to your local grinder and grind this because this is a bit strong. I will be grinding this in batches because my blender is not that big until everything is grinded. And we'll be using a chiffon kind of cloth like this to sieve it. This is what you need because you want your pap to come out smooth and nice. And guys, all you have to do is to tie this on your bowl just like this until it is very, very secure. Once it is secure like this, you want to transfer the blended grain into this little by little. We'll be doing this in batches. Just take your hand, but first of all, make sure that your hands are clean. Make sure you wash them very well. Then use your hand just to run it through like this. Then also don't forget to add water gradually. This will make it easier for you until you get everything done. One other fastest way of doing this is by boiling it. So guys, you don't have to ferment it, just boil it for 15 minutes. Then you want to rinse them, blend, and continue with this whole process. But I just love to ferment my corn and I like to do this for 3 days the old-fashioned way. So if you're craving for this in a day, you can get it done. This will take a bit of time. Please don't rush this whole process. When you're done, you're going to get a shaft like this. Please, this is why you need a chiffon cloth like this to sieve it, okay? Then you want to make sure you press out every liquid out of it, and this is what you have. You see this shaft, you're going to discard this. You can be used for something else as chicken feed, but we don't need this, so you're going to just discard this and continue the whole process until it is done. When you're done with the whole process, gently unwrap the chiffon cloth and this is what you get. As you can see, these are the liquid we extracted from the pap. So all you have to do now is to let this settle for hours and we will get back to this. So while this is settling, we'll be cooking our tomatoes. Guys, this is the tomatoes we're using. I'm using some tomatoes, shombo, pepper, and then you just want to boil this just to release its own water so that it can cook properly. This is just the best way I love to prep my tomatoes. Transfer this to your blender and blend until it is very, very smooth. Once we are done with the blending, I'll be cooking some brisket bone. Guys, you can use any type of protein you want, but brisket bone goes well with this recipe. You want to season this with some curry, thyme, ginger, garlic powder, some salt, some seasoning powder, bay leaf, and some rosemary. I love this brisket, but just look at this fat that I got from the bone. It was so good. Add water. You want this to cook so that all these ingredients can penetrate into it. Like I said, it's brisket bone and little bit of flesh. When this is done cooking, I cooked mine for 30 minutes on low heat. Then you want to take this out. Just look at this fat. Oh my goodness. It's from the marrow bone. Oh my god, I love it so much. When that's done, you want to set this aside, add some vegetable into a pot, let it get really hot, and transfer your blended pepper mix into this. And you want to season this immediately. This tomato is already cooked, and that is why we boiled it, so it makes your cooking process really fast. Season it with your seasoning of choice. I added some of my minced spices, some salt, and guys, don't worry, all those ingredients will be in my caption. Just go ahead and read my caption. You want to cover this up for 5 minutes so that all the ingredients can penetrate into it. Then go ahead and add all your protein into it. Give everything a good mix. Then cover this up and let this cook again for 10 minutes. Guys, this is 2 hours later. The pap have settled, not pretty well. You can leave this for more, but because we are cooking this immediately and can't wait, you have to strain out the top water and be careful so that the pap will not go with it. When you're done straining, this is what you get. You want to mix this very well to combine. Then you go in and pour this into your pepper mix. But before we do that, I'm going to be taking out some of the extra stew. This was just too much for what we wanted. So I'm going to be taking out little of the stew, and I'll also keep a little bit of it. You will see what I'll be using that later on in the video. Then transfer the pap liquid into this and mix thoroughly. Please do not leave this for a minute. You have to keep mixing. I just recently stumbled on this arc, and I can tell you it's the perfect arc. The reason why is because the normal way we make our Agidi Jollof is by making the pap first, then transfer the stew into the pap. But why not? Why not the other way? This way is more faster. It doesn't consume time at all. All you have to do is just keep stirring. When you notice it starts sticking enough, just add a little bit of water, then cover it up and let it cook for 5 minutes on low heat. Using a non-stick pan will make your work even more easier. So if you don't have a non-stick pan, there's no problem. And after 5 minutes, you want to keep stirring this non-stop. Don't be afraid, it's not going to get lumpy, but just keep stirring this. But if you don't, because I'm using a non-stick pot, it's just going to get burnt, and we don't want that. And guys, at this point, our Agidi Jollof is ready. This smells so good. Oh my goodness, just look at the color. This was so good. And guys, this is how you make your Agidi Jollof very effortlessly easy. You don't have to stress yourself too much. The little stew I kept aside, I added the bone marrow fat and I gave this a good mix, and I'll set aside. And guys, you want to tie your Agidi Jollof almost immediately, because if not, it's going to get hard. Using this sleeve wrap to tie it, and this is the typical African way of doing this. It is so good. It's going to infuse more flavor into this Agidi Jollof. Please, you have to be very fast. Add some stew in the middle, then go ahead again and add more of the Agidi Jollof and tie this. If you cannot find this banana leaf, also known as umu leaf, you can use any plastic wrap. You can use anything just to form it to the desired shape that you want, because in no time this will be ready. You just let it sit for 30 minutes and more. When it even gets cooler, it becomes more harder, and that is it. This Agidi Jollof is from the eastern part of Nigeria. It is a delicacy that is mostly consumed by the Igbos. It is so delicious. It is just like eko. It has the same texture as eko agidi. Also, the flavor of smoky patty jollof rice. Just imagine the combination. And the hidden gems of brisket bone scattered in the middle. This is so good. If you're wanting to try something new, please, this is a recipe you should try. It is so easy to put together. You don't have to do this whole process by soaking it for 3 days. Like I said, you can just boil this and wash and blend immediately, then cook. It is that easy. Guys, if this is your first time stopping by, thank you. My name is Modi, and see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.